name's Amy Lambert, and I am one of the tour guides here at Magnolia Mound. Here we have a spice box. Normally the spices are locked inside of the main historic house in the sideboard because of how expensive spices were during this time. They had to be imported. The most expensive spice during this time period was black pepper. Constance, the lady of the house, who was a French Creole, would come out in the morning and divvy up the spices for the day and then return to the main house and lock them up. Here we have it's not a Keurig. It is what you would use to roast your coffee beans that were imported so that you could later brew a cup of coffee. You had to wait over an hour to have a cup of coffee, not like your 2 to 3 minutes at Starbucks today. So you would have to come over here with your coffee beans and roast them for over an hour. Then you would use a mortar and pestle to grind up the coffee beans, and then you could brew a cup of coffee. Here, this is a cool looking instrument, and it is used for grilling toast or making toast. You would put the bread right here and go next to the fire and grill your toast. Normally you would not use your hand to touch a red hot iron. You would use these hooks to allow things to come in and out of the flame. Because of the flame in here, it gets very hot, and that is why the kitchen is separated from the main historic house. You want to keep your house as cold as possible, so you have the kitchen separated. Also, fires were not very good. This particular building burned down 3 times before the year 1903, and that is the kitchen.
Hi, welcome to Magnolia Mound. We're going to demonstrate today how people would have cooked in the 1700s. 2 ways they cooked were on the fire itself. I've got a pot of onion soup going over here. This just swings out, lift it up, put some more onions in there if you need to, put the lid back on, whoops, and then you just swing it back into the fire itself. They can also cook on a grill just like you have a grill at home nowadays. This is something called pain perdu. It's French bread. It's the way to use up your stale bread. It's an egg and milk mixture with some spices in it. They could dip the bread in there and they would just cook it right on the grill. The grill goes back in. The other ways they cooked were roasting things. This is a roaster reflector oven for a chicken. Got a little chicken cooking today. They also cooked on the hearth itself. They would take those hot coals from the back and make a burner, just like a burner on your stove. Wherever you wanted a burner, you put those hot coals on the ground, and then you could put your pot on top of the hot coals. And today we're doing some Brussels sprouts because that's what they would have had this time of year. They have a toaster right here. Probably doesn't look like a toaster at home. The bread goes in here. You get one side nice and brown, and then you turn it around, put it back down, and brown the other side of your bread. Anything they would have had back in those days, we have nowadays. We've got some fresh cabbage from the garden. There's onions and bell peppers. Of course, bread. The oven is baking bread right now. You have to make a fire in it, and when your oven's hot enough, you can put your bread in. It's starting to look nice right now. They also had waffles in those days. This is a waffle maker over here. This goes in the fire, you heat it up, you put your batter in, make you a couple of waffles. When it cools off, you have to put it back in the fire and heat it up again. They would dry herbs back in those days. Spices were really expensive, like nutmeg and cinnamon. This is bay leaf and rosemary. In the summertime, when they had a lot of herbs, they would dry them and they could save them to use in the winter time. We have a coffee grinder here. This is to grind your, excuse me, a coffee bean roaster. This was to roast your coffee beans. And then after they were roasted, you'd have to grind them yourself. And then you could make yourself a cup of coffee. Hi, y'all come visit us now.